Hello everyone and welcome back to WWE Universe. I am your host Jitch and this is Friday Night SmackDown. We are going to kick things off with The Rock, who is ready to get some answers on what happened to him last week in his main event match against The Miz for the WWE Championship. I can't wait to hear what The Rock has to say. Come on down, Rocky. Come on down. There he is. The Rock is out here and he's ready for some answers. Oh. Whoa, what the? Justin Gabriel. Well, we know that Brie Bella's been the center of attention from Justin Gabriel just lately. I mean, sorry, that Brie Bella has had a center of attention be on The Rock, and Justin Gabriel with his tag team partner Heath Slater. Was this who took out The Rock last week? Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel just laying into The Rock. Maybe these were the guys that took him out last week. Maybe they slipped something in his drink, if you know what I'm saying. Well, Gabriel seems to be heading down to the ring. I'm not entirely sure what for, but you can't see it. Just pretend that you can see it. Justin Gabriel is heading to the ring, and oh, maybe we're finally gonna get some answers. Brie Bella coming to confront Gabriel after what he just did to The Rock. That's like her #1 client right now. What the hell? Oh. Okay then. Was it a setup the whole time? What? I'm so confused. What a shocking way to kick off SmackDown that was. The show must go on. And apparently we're going to get some more info on what happened later on. Well, the Road Warrior Animal finally returning to action here tonight. We know they've been demanding some kind of competition. They want to be used. They want to be featured here on SmackDown. They're getting sick and tired of sitting out back doing nothing. Here tonight, they challenge one half of Zack Ryder and Alex Riley to a singles match. It is the Road Warrior Animal who is going up against Zack Ryder. This is going to be an interesting matchup here tonight. You see Road Warrior Hawk not far behind Zack Ryder, who has recently aligned himself with Alex Riley, the two-time Cruiserweight Champion. We'll see what kind of an opponent he will be for Animal in this one to kick off SmackDown. We're looking towards potentially some new tag teams rising the ranks, is what I was trying to say there. Very poorly, of course, as is to be expected from this mouth of mine. Poorly formed sentences are the way to go.
From Long Island, New York, weighing in at 214 pounds, Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder strutting on down to the ring. Is he ready for Road Warrior Animal? I don't think he realizes like what a intense opponent he's signed up for when he agreed to this matchup. Him and Riley been real serious about trying to get those tag team championships back. Currently around the waist of Christian and Tyson Kidd. That could change tonight in the main event. Justin Gabriel, the man of the hour right now, clearly, set to compete for those tag team championships. As we know, championship matches do main event shows, so the WWE Tag Team titles being on the line is our main event tonight. Christian and Tyson Kidd up against Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater, and it feels like everything's just kind of pieced together. As I say, we've got a little bit of information to come your way, but I think it's safe to say The Rock was set up this whole time. I don't ever think that The Rock was intending under the tutelage of Brie Bella to ever succeed. That or Justin Gabriel just made a statement strong enough that he won her back. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. As I said, there's been some footage that was caught backstage earlier in the night. Oh, sorry, I was biting my nail. Earlier in the night, prior to the WWE Championship match last week, Justin Gabriel apparently approached Brie Bella backstage and had a few things to say to her. And we'll be seeing that footage soon enough. So it should be very interesting to see what's going on there. Clearly, quite a big thing has been plotted out backstage that we are only just now made aware of. But I guess, as I say, we'll see what happens soon enough. Interestingly enough, Alex Riley not at ringside for Zack Ryder. We don't know what the explanation for that one could possibly be. Maybe Riley felt that he could... No, yeah, it was right the first time. Sorry, their last names are very similar. Maybe Ryder felt that he could take this on his own. Maybe he wasn't expecting Hawk to also be there. Road Warriors claim they are the uncrowned champions of SmackDown here. As living legends, they deserve a title opportunity sooner than later. Can't really fault the logic. They've not exactly been utilized to their fullest since coming here to SmackDown. I believe this is, what, their first match, actually, since the Tag Team Contenders Tournament that was won by Ryder and Riley, I think. I think that was the last time they were actually used as a team. I know Hawk had, at one point, he was right at the top of the rankings for the WWE title, and I'm not really sure why. They have a victory over the Enforcers back on NXT. They defeated DX. Made it to the finals of the Tag Team Championship Contenders Tournament. Lost to Riley and Ryder. And that was the end of it for them. So to go up against those two actually makes a lot of sense. They seem like the kind of guys they should be setting their sights on. I think Hawk had one random Contenders match at one point. Yeah, he lost a Contenders match to Triple H back in July, and I think that was the last time we saw these guys, was back in July. At the very end of July, admittedly, so near enough August. But, you know, August is the 8th month of the year. We're here in the middle of November. It's been about 3 months since these guys have really been featured on SmackDown. So it makes sense that they'd be feeling some frustration. They'd be wanting to get them some screen time. And that's what they're getting here tonight. We're going to be seeing The Miz, the WWE Champion, in action as he prepares for Stone Cold Steve Austin this Sunday. No word on who it is that The Miz is going to be facing off against tonight, but we hear that it's going to be a tougher challenge for The Miz to try and brace him for that one-on-one match with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Also still to come tonight, we've got a one-on-one encounter, the match you have been waiting for since the turn happened. John Cena and Mark Henry are set to go one-on-one ahead of their Survivor Series matchup this Sunday. As we know, they will be competing in a Survivor Series match. It'll be the Crew, Mark Henry, R-Truth, and Booker T, up against John Cena and the team of Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. Dubbed Team Mysterio, as it is technically Mysterio who kind of started his issues with the Crew. From the moment they were formed, those guys seem to have just always had it out for Rey Mysterio. Thankfully for him, Eddie Guerrero is in his corner, and John Cena's got issues with the Crew, so he managed to find himself some backup. See if they can put a stop to the Crew finally this Sunday at Survivor Series. Of course, the only other match from SmackDown coming up this Sunday is the WWE Championship matchup, but that is not one you're going to want to sleep on. The Miz looks to be in some serious trouble this Sunday when he goes one-on-one with Stone Cold Steve Austin for the championship. As we know, this is Stone Cold's return to the ring since losing the championship. He doesn't have anything like Justin Gabriel or Brie Bella to screw him over, unless the Misfits soften him up backstage. But I don't know how they could take down a man as determined as Stone Cold. This Sunday is going to be, I think, the undoing of The Miz in that WWE Championship reign that some argue he never deserved. Got the arm up. Road Warrior Animal really bringing it to Zack Ryder right now. We've got to find a new contender to the Light Heavyweight Championship sooner than later. Justin Gabriel got to defend that thing. Maybe Ryder could focus on that if things don't work out his way tonight. Speaking of not working out, I think this might be the end right here. That was a hell of a power slam, but Ryder was able to kick out. Ryder's holding his own against Road Warrior Animal. He really doesn't want to let it go. Surprised we haven't seen an appearance from Riley at all. Oh, big shoulder tackle. Another running power slam, yep. Into a pin again. Well, one wasn't enough. Neither is two. I don't actually know what Road Warrior Animal's finishing move is, but I think we're about to see it. Oh, it's another running power slam. That one with a lot more emphasis.
1, 2. That's it. No,
Whoa.
again he kicks out.
Zack Ryder, he means business tonight.
Not fast enough.
No matter how much of a beating this guy's taken, he means it. And here's Hawk.
And he escapes the hold. Tremendous force behind that shot from Animal.
Oh, crucifix. Ryder's really outnumbered himself in this situation. Hawk there at ringside, he really should have brought Riley with him. I think Ryder wanted a good, clean fight. We know Ryder's a very different man to when he debuted a year ago, also when he was aligned with the Misfits. He's recently had a bit of a change of heart, a bit of a change of style, ever since dissociating from the Misfits. And I think the Road Warriors are kind of taking advantage of that in this matchup. This has become 2-on-1.
Oh, look at this.
Just toying with Ryder. Two-time Cruiserweight champion, a very accomplished single star in that sense, but I think that's got to be it. Unfortunately, it was. Ryder is definitely someone I think you got to keep an eye on here on SmackDown. I think it's a bit of a slow burner, but he is a former tag team champion. He is a former Cruiserweight champion. But the Road Warriors, they wanted to get back where they left off, and where they left off last was a loss to Ryder and Riley. And whilst this doesn't prove that they could beat those two in a tag team match, this is a victory that they have wanted for quite some time. Hawk seemingly very proud of Road Warrior Animal for this victory. And there you have it, as we move on to our next match of the night, which is of course The Miz. Who's he up against? We'll find out in a moment, but up next I'm actually going to quickly show you some footage caught backstage last week before The Rock's match, as Justin Gabriel approached Brie Bella with some questions. Keep in mind the events shown in this footage were from last week prior to The Rock's match with The Miz. Brie, we need to talk. I know Rock's your new client, but I'm still number one, right? Justin, do you remember when he returned and humiliated you in your open challenge? I was very upset. So, I came up with a plan. I can't say too much right now about it, but it's in your best interests, believe that. But here's something to think about. What bruises a man hardest in the WWE? How do you think it would feel to come so close to a world title, and then suddenly something goes wrong? You see what I'm saying, Justin? You're a genius, Brie. You got this. As you're returning on SmackDown, I think it's quite safe to say from that footage, we kind of get now the picture here. This was a setup right from the start. Brie Bella's plan was to make it look like she was leaving Justin Gabriel. Justin didn't even realize, he wasn't even in on this plan, but Bella's plan all along was that she was upset that The Rock had humiliated Gabriel when he answered that open challenge and beat Gabriel. And so, sorry, the fans are very shaky here tonight in SmackDown. They're just so nervous about tonight's main event. But she had this plan all along to give The Rock this false sense of security, make it seem like she was aligned with him going forward, only to pull a complete and utter 180 on him. And I gotta say, it seems like she drugged him or something. He was not 100% last week on SmackDown. She knew what she was doing. She got him right in the grasps of a WWE Championship match, top of his game, and then screwed him over completely. Benefited this man quite nicely. Well, John Morrison, the current Intercontinental Champion, coming out here to ringside here tonight. He's got it nice and easy this Sunday at Survivor Series, as he does not have to defend that Intercontinental Championship, nor does he here tonight. His tag team partners, though, Christian and Tyson Kidd, will be in action for their championships here tonight. Could the Misfits lose their first championships as a group? It's tough when they're on the line, especially this frequently. And then the WWE Championship on the line against Stone Cold Steve Austin this Sunday. Things are really heating up. The Misfits under a lot of pressure. Whoa! Well, I said last week that he'd be back this week. I was not envisioning this. Triple H is the opponent tonight for the WWE Champion, The Miz. Former WWE Champion, the first ever WWE Champion.
And his opponent, from Greenwich, Connecticut, weighing 185 pounds, Triple H.
2 weeks ago on SmackDown, this man was taken out in what was supposed to be a Tag Team Championship rematch for D-Generation X against Tyson Kidd and Christian. This man was found unconscious backstage by backstage interviewer Jerry Lawler. Shawn Michaels ended up teaming up with Lawler, who came out of retirement for that Tag Team Championship match, to aid Michaels in fighting the Misfits, who Lawler insisted he saw take out Triple H. Last week on SmackDown, Shawn Michaels, he found that the Misfits were nowhere to be seen backstage. The only man that was around Triple H when he was taken out, well, after he was taken out at the very least, was Jerry Lawler. So Shawn Michaels pointed the finger that it was in fact Jerry Lawler himself who took out Triple H in an attempt to get exactly what he got, a championship match and a last run of glory. Shawn Michaels then took out Jerry Lawler last week in singles competition to put him in his place for something he just kind of assumed. Here tonight, Triple H is back, but he's not teaming up with Shawn Michaels. Michaels isn't even at ringside, which I would assume implies that Michaels had no idea Triple H was going to be the opponent for The Miz in this match. And the Miz, clearly not wanting to deal with the former WWE Champion, the first ever WWE Champion. Survivor Series of last year, almost 1 year ago, that man became the first ever WWE Champion, a title now held by The Miz. There's some real symbolism in this match. So we get closer to Survivor Series this Sunday, just 2 days away, when The Miz will defend against the longest reigning WWE Champion of all time so far, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the only man to have held it for over 100 days since its inception a year ago. Miz trying everything in his power to keep Triple H down and out. And I feel like a part of Triple H accepting this challenge tonight was the fact that perhaps he knows something we don't. Perhaps he knows that it was in fact the Misfits that took him out backstage.
Against the wall. Massive fist knocks him off his feet. Yeah, now come the right. I don't think they're gonna stop.
Miz doing everything in his power to just keep Triple H down and out.
Thousands of fans will witness an incredible, and it's imperative he gets back in the ring right now.
What is this? Oh, Triple H with a reversal. We're up to a count of 9. Miz has got to get back in the ring or else he's going to get counted out. There you go. Perhaps that was the plan all along there, was to try and get the count-out victory. The WWE Champion looking very dominant right now. Admittedly, this all comes off of playing Triple H for a fool at the start of the match. Yeah, a little something like that. He stepped outside the ring, allowed Triple H to get a false sense of security, and it was at that exact moment, just like that, he just struck from behind. Triple H's got to watch himself, former Intercontinental Champion John Morrison, as I say, at ringside there. And The Miz, look at that, very sly the way he grabbed onto the referee. Never saw John Morrison, suspected something, so he told him off, but he never actually saw what Morrison was doing to Triple H.
What's he gonna do here?
It's weird to see Triple H getting victimized like this, but then when there's a 2-on-1, and you got to give The Miz credit where due, the man's a master strategist. He seems to be playing this game really carefully against Triple H. This is the only thing I don't think The Miz had a plan for, is what happens when Triple H turns things around.
He drops the elbow.
You can see that The Miz was clearly very unprepared for that possibility.
And he drops the leg across his opponent. And again gets taken down. And he's out of the ring.
And once again, The Miz just screwing around, wasting as much time as physically possible, perhaps trying to run out that time limit.
Turnbuckle pad.
Triple H clearly distracted by John Morrison there, didn't quite catch what The Miz did, and there you go. Miz doing everything in his power to pick up this massive victory. I mean, he needs it. He's got to be able to go into a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin this Sunday with momentum. I completely understand why The Miz is trying everything in his power to bring down Triple H. A victory over the first ever WWE champion is nothing to be laughed at, especially a former tag team champion on top. I mean, admittedly, The Miz is the only ever Triple Crown champion thus far. Triple H should probably go for Morrison's Intercontinental Championship, take that title of only Triple Crown champion away from The Miz. Miz was the first ever WWE Intercontinental Champion. He was then the first ever WWE Tag Team Champion a month later, when the WWE Tag Team titles were introduced at TLC. And then he went on to become the first ever man to win Money in the Bank, which then, SmackDown's Money in the Bank anyway, which then led to him becoming the first man to ever successfully cash in on the WWE Championship. Oh wait, no, yeah, he was the first ever guy to hold a SmackDown Money in the Bank briefcase, not a Money in the Bank briefcase in general. The first man to hold a Money in the Bank briefcase in general was, I believe, Jack Swagger.
That'll send a message. How do you send a message against a man named the Cerebral Assassin? This is where the Miz plays mind games. He just puts his opponent down. This is great. Yeah, but you gotta remember, Cole, you can't win a match with your mouth.
Triple H keeps getting distracted by John Morrison at ringside. Is this going to be enough? No, Triple H able to kick out again. And The Miz. Ooh. With that kneeling DDT, and it seems like he, seems like The Miz is actually in control for a second here. Triple H. Oh! Skull-crushing finale. And Triple H back up to his feet in no time. Oof. That's a very delayed trophy. I think well scouted as the one for reversing a finisher. And here comes Triple H now. Really laying into The Miz. WWE Champion looks to be in some real serious trouble right now. Two. Oh, hold up. Triple H out of nowhere. Pedigree. Oh, and right in the bloodied face of Triple H.
Now it may just be a matter of time. Oh, good Lord. The Miz escaped that one. Oh, what an offensive move.
Oh, face first into the exposed turnbuckle, and here's a pin attempt by The Miz. Wow. I mean, it may not have been the cleanest victory out there, but what a big victory for The Miz. Definitely showed a little bit more readiness for Stone Cold, if that's even possible. What a win that was. Wow. I really wasn't expecting to see this as the outcome. Miz really just played Triple H here tonight. I think we really saw a different side of The Miz. Perhaps he's been psyching himself up and getting ready for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh no. Well, we know he took quite a bit of damage, and Miz at one point literally raked the bloodied face of Triple H. We know he's only just now come back from injuries of an attack backstage. We don't know how severe that injury was, but it seems like Triple H is out for the count. That's not good to see.
Is scheduled for one fall. Approaching the ring, representing the crew, from Silsbee, Texas, weighing 418 pounds, he is the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
Really am amazed at what we've seen go down here tonight, from the plot twists, the plans, the tricks, everything that's been going on with Justin Gabriel, Brie Bella, and The Rock, to seeing the Road Warriors back in action, to seeing Triple H put back on the shelf after having just come back from an injury. Now Mark Henry going to go up against John Cena. What could possibly go wrong here? Will John Cena somehow wind up getting his face put through a car window again? John Cena, former WWE champion, former leader of the crew. At one point it felt like he was leading these guys down a very dangerous path to success, but Mark Henry broke his face through a car window to kick him out of the group. John Cena's now made it his goal to tear the rest of the group to pieces for turning on him. See what happens when John Cena and Mark Henry lock up for what I think is the first time. This feels like a pay-per-view worthy matchup considering everything that's been leading up to this, but of course this Sunday they will be colliding. It's just that it will also feature Booker T, R-Truth, Rey Mysterio, and Eddie Guerrero all in one match.
I don't know. I think it's nearly 7 billion. Think about this. Mark Henry is stronger than all of them.
Was in the 90s. Excuse me, I'm gonna have a quick Pepsi break my voice. I can actually feel my voice dying a little bit. I don't think I've actually addressed this yet, so I should probably talk about it now, whilst I remember to. I used to have 3 days off of my job a week. I've now taken up an extra day, so I now only have 2 days a week. I know that this series isn't very consistently recorded anyway. I have been known to stall with this one quite a bit. You know, I literally made fun of myself earlier for the fact that it's taken almost about 17 months to hit a year in this universe, because that is pretty bad, honestly. I'm not very happy about that. But I will now only have 2 days in a week where I can record this, because I record this on my mornings where I'm off of work. I work very early mornings, so I use the time where I'd normally be awake to record these instead of work, because then I'm still working. So these might, I wouldn't say these will slow down. If anything, these might become a little bit more consistent. It's just that they might be more spaced out. I feel like having less time where I have the option to record these means that when I have that time, I will actually record these, because I stall. It's not, I don't dislike recording this series at all. I know I've said that many times, but I just don't want anyone, like, misconstruing my words, so I'll go on record to say it as many times as possible. Like, I really enjoy this series. Don't get it twisted. I really do enjoy this series. But there are other games I play on stream and stuff that I enjoy quite a lot. But I know that this is what most people want to see. I mean, the archive streams get literally no comments and like 10 views each, so I can tell that nobody is even wanting to try them. So I'll try to squeeze in both if I can, but if not, it'll probably primarily be this, I guess. I do want to get further along because I keep coming up with ideas and stuff and then telling myself that I shouldn't plan too far in advance because at the moment I'm still on 12 and I've been on 12 for a very long time. I don't know when the first episode of 12 went up, but I feel like it was quite some time ago. I'm going to quickly grab a look at that because I'm really curious actually. The first episode of 12 went up 11 months ago, so I've been playing 12 for almost a year. And I'm only like, what, this is episode 88, I think this is. That's pretty bad. Like, I'm willing to accept that that's pretty bad. I'd like to record this a lot more consistently than it is. But it does take up a lot of time in the mornings to get it ready and everything. There is a lot of like extra preparation. You know, the episodes may only be like half an hour, but I have to do like cutscenes and there's a lot of like loading screens and stuff that are cut out. These do usually actually end up being about an hour, sometimes longer. And the preparation before them, like thinking of matches, thinking of ways to continue the stories. I kind of do it all on the spot before I start them sometimes. So it can take quite a long time to get it going. So I do apologize for the slowness in this, and I know I'm going to have people telling me that I don't have to apologize, but I would rather address it than not say anything. I'm not looking for anyone to be like sympathetic or like, that's okay, do blah blah blah. I'm literally just filling you guys in on like I'm doing my best to get these as frequently as possible, but there is only so much time in a day, realistically. And I think, at the very least, I should be able to do 3 to 4 episodes of this a week. I can't guarantee that, but if I have 2 days off, and I usually record 2 episodes a day, then that would be about 4 a week. The only reason I say 3 is because obviously if there's a pay-per-view that might take up the entire time just doing it. Like, I have a feeling that the next episode I do, this is Survivor Series 1, is going to be a very long video because it's got 3 Survivor Series styles matches and it's a 7-match card. And as you know, based from bragging rights, when we had the 1 elimination 6-man tag, that match took almost the entire 30 minutes to finish. So I do have a feeling that the Survivor Series matches are going to be quite long. Obviously, the bragging rights one was kind of like down to whatever, whereas I have plans for the Survivor Series matches. I think for every single... yeah, for all 3 of them, I already have like a determined outcome that I'll be aiming for. So I will be playing them as opposed to the bragging rights, so they might be quicker in that sense. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in that regard. I try to book more tag matches because I know that obviously that's a whole division, but I always avoid it because the matches can be really long and I'd rather get more episodes done than have really long matches.
I don't think so.
So there's a quick look behind the scenes at why it is that like Animal competed in a singles match against Ryder rather than a tag match. I just know that tag matches take really long, and if I can help it, I'll only have 1 on each show rather than 2. I'd rather not use people for weeks than have loads of tag matches. I'm just rambling, I know, but like I just felt like having a little bit of a behind the scenes open blabber so you guys can kind of hear what's going on. I've been really enjoying this series, and it's one of those weird ones because I think I might have gone on record of saying this before. I don't know if I have in universe. But like, I always kind of go into it with like, I guess I could do some. And then like, as I'm actually doing it, I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm really enjoying it. Once I get going, I really enjoy it a lot. But it's like getting me to go that can sometimes take a while. I'm willing to accept that. And obviously my voice generally dies in these too, because it's a lot of speaking for multiple hours. And like non-stop. I can't really like leave the game to talk for itself too much because I don't really like the in-game commentary, so that kind of affects things. You know, I'm not saying like life is hard or anything. Like, you know, it's when it comes to this channel and doing these videos, it's fairly easy. I just want to get more episodes done, really. I feel like if I just speak about it and say it, then maybe I'll actually do it. But as I said before, I feel like only having 2 days in a week where I can record it means I will record it. Whereas, like, the more days I have where I'm not at work and I have the option to say no, I feel like I'm going to just say no. But that's just some speculation on, like, how the brain works and everything at that point. Oh, Cena. Is he going to actually... just wearing Mark Henry like that. Head through him. Pin him then, Cena. What the hell? Oh, you just want to get an extra move in. You want to really make sure he kept him down. Well, it worked. Mark Henry defeated on a single attitude adjustment. John Cena gets that retribution against his former leader. But will it come full circle? Will he completely take them down and beat the Crew this Sunday when he teams with Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero against them? That's what we gotta wait and see in just 2 days' time. But up next, it's the one you've been waiting for, the main event. The WWE Tag Team Championships are on the line. Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel are set to compete in a tag team match for the titles against Christian and Tyson Kidd. I am ready for this one. Either outcome is good with me. And here come... no.
Following contest is for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Accompanied by Brie Bella and introducing the challengers. Introducing the challengers. Heath Slater and heavyweight champion Justin Gabriel.
Justin Gabriel could be the proud owner of 2 championships, and clearly quite the budding relationship with Brie Bella after his actions in the ring earlier tonight. Clearly those two taking it to the next level. I don't think their relationship is entirely professional at this point anymore. But Justin Gabriel has definitely got quite a bit going for him right now. I imagine he's the envy of some men out there. But the Misfits' very own WWE Tag Team Champions Christian and Tyson Kidd, they were declared the better Tag Team Champions between the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champions back at bragging rights. But now coming out here tonight, they could be the losing point of the Misfits. They could be what ends up costing the Misfits some championship gold. It's all about outlasting the other faction when you've got 2 rival factions that are both holding championship gold. It's all about who can do it better. And well, the Misfits are definitely the ones at risk here tonight as they are defending their WWE Tag Team Championship. As opposed to the United Kingdom's World Tag Team Champions, which, by the way, have still never defended those tag team titles at 60 plus days as champions. Why Mick Foley has not acted on that, I do not know, but they are defending them this Sunday at Survivor Series. To be fair, I'll give some credit where due, they are defending them in 2 days' time. That will be their first and possibly last defense. What a massive change that would be for the Raw landscape if the United Kingdom lost all of their championships in one match this Sunday, but it's entirely possible. Tell you what, Justin Gabriel is really becoming the man here on SmackDown just lately. I feel like he's really growing as a star. And I think winning the tag team titles is just going to further solidify that. I mean, at that point, Justin Gabriel will have held the United States Championship, the Light Heavyweight Championship, and the WWE Tag Team titles, you know, World Championship, and that guy has literally won every belt there is available. Well, every rank of belt there is available. Not every belt there is available. I think we're really looking at a budding star. I mean, he caught the attention of Brie Bella nice and strongly, and ever since things have just been looking up for him. Admittedly, he was a former US champion before that, but I don't know, the Nexus kind of feels like a very distant memory for Justin Gabriel. I think the one that clings onto the memories of the Nexus the most would have to be David Otunga. What has he done since? Heath Slater in the ring right now seems to have more openly embraced Justin Gabriel and Brie Bella. I don't know if maybe he was just playing dumb the whole time, but he definitely assisted Justin Gabriel in taking out The Rock at the start of the night.
The championship hangs in the balance.
Yeah, The Rock has not sustained as bad of injuries as Triple H, who will be put on the shelf for an indefinite amount of months. But he is definitely at least going to be out for another week.
Someone so young, he's very comfortable in the ring. Tag Team Championship at stake. Which team wants it more?
Yeah, really, I gotta say, I kind of respect the move that Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel have gone for here. Now, hear me out. I mean, obviously, I'm not supposed to really condone those actions, but when you kind of hear what I've got to say, you'll understand a little bit better. Now, think about this. Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater kicked off the show by taking out the the former number one contender to the WWE Championship, one of the top, most talked about guys on SmackDown right now. They then close out SmackDown winning the WWE Tag Team Championships. I feel like they've really taken the attention away from the Misfits and made this the Justin Gabriel, Heath Slater, and Brie Bella show if they manage to succeed tonight.
How much pain must that neck be in now? Christian is such a well-rounded superstar with a lot of experience in big matches. These competitors
Gotta keep in mind though that Christian and Tyson Kidd are a solid tag team. They have been honestly just awesome since they came onto the scene. It's a real shame that they decided to align themselves with the Misfits because they're so much better than that. Now I suppose the same can be said about John Morrison. The same could really be said about The Miz. They're all great talents. It's just a shame they have to be the way they are, I guess, when you think about it. The Miz really brought his A-game tonight against Triple H. He showed us why it is that he's the WWE Champion. The Miz really did put his name back on the map. I think some people were taking him quite lightly after his recent quick losses to The Rock. But I think The Miz really was just a solid reminder in his match against Triple H why he's a top guy, why he's the WWE Champion, why he's the Triple Crown Champion, why he's achieved so much in so little time. I think that really all went on the map, but I still think that this Sunday, Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be just hell on The Miz. I do not have a lot of confidence that The Miz is going to enjoy that match very much at all. We don't have unified tag team champions. I'm going to say Slater and Gabriel have really shown some solid teamwork in this tag team match. Cobra Clutch locked in, but Christian was able to quickly find his way out of that one, and that's probably for the best. Not a move you want to get caught in. Ties up the arm and a kick. Ooh. Strike two. Flapjack drops Heath Slater as Christian manages to take control of this matchup. Now Slater in control of Christian and into the corner. Tag made to Justin Gabriel. The light heavyweight champion, and Slater really working over Christian, a former WWE champion in and of his own right. I don't think a single former WWE champion is on Raw anymore, thinking on it. What's the line of WWE champions? So it went from Triple H to Shawn Michaels to Christian. From Christian, who then was drafted over here to SmackDown, it went to John Cena. And then Cena dropped it to Stone Cold. Who dropped it to them? Yeah, every single former WWE champion is here on SmackDown. I never really thought about it because I feel like I keep saying former WWE champion. I feel like I've said that quite a lot in this episode, but like because all 6 that there's been in the last year are here on SmackDown. 6 is quite a lot of title changes in a year. Sometimes I just have different plans with people, but a lot of the time title changes are more, oops, I accidentally lost the match. That can be one of the biggest things that's like, why there's so many is just, oh shit, I lost. It's normally I lost, but I'm okay with this result. Except when Cena beat Christian, I really didn't want that to happen. I didn't want Michaels to beat Triple H just to lose it to Christian either. A simple Triple H to Christian would have been fine, and then Christian to Stone Cold, and then Austin to Miz. I would have been happy with just those 4. No disrespect to Michaels or Cena, I mean, I'm glad they're both former champions. They're both great guys, it's just, they didn't really fit into my plans, those ones were both kind of hiccups. Not that I actually had a plan on who would win the Chamber, to be fair. I was okay with any outcome, and I wasn't expecting Christian to win at Mania, but that's a case of I'm really glad he did. Like, I wanted it, I just wasn't going to make it happen. I very much thought Batista was going to win that match. Batista's not really lived up to his hype, unfortunately. Oh, it's got me wondering if all the World Heavyweight Champions are on Raw. No, they're not, because the first is Undertaker, who was here on SmackDown. And then Randy Orton, he's on Raw. He was the one that got drafted to Raw with the championship, though, to be fair. Randy lost it to Undertaker, and then Undertaker to Randy. I know they flip-flopped it a little bit, which again, those were all fuck-ups. Those weren't supposed to be as many as they were. I think Undertaker, my plan was just to have Undertaker have a really long reign, but I just lost. So that went. It's funny, I can talk about my plans once a year's passed, really. Because, like, well, they're long gone now. I'm not going back. They're not happening now. Whereas I might still try certain things if they fail the first time around. Who did Orton lose the title to? As I say, I know that belt has changed hands, like, a lot. I think Orton lost it to Edge, who then got cashed in on by Swagger. Has Gabriel won it? No. Swagger was always going to cash in. I had that plan, because Swagger started off really hot. It's definitely fizzled out a little bit now. I wouldn't say he's as big of a star as he was at the start, but he started off really hot, and winning the world title at the time made a lot of sense. Ooh! Isn't that his finisher? No, I guess not. If it was, he did not sell it for anything. Ooh, Slater was going for something big there, and Christian was able to quickly reverse with a hip toss. Who won it from? Yeah, so then Edge got cashed in on by Swagger. As I said, I planned on having Swagger cash in no matter who won. Swagger dropped it to Batista, which was the plan. I did want Batista as champion, but then Swagger won it back from Batista, which wasn't supposed to happen, so I had a cash-in happen, and now Sheamus has just been the champion since. Yeah, the World Heavyweight title is not the most prestigious title right now. To be fair, if you want to go off of like successful defenses and long reigns, the most prestigious is actually the Intercontinental Championship, which had a really long reign from The Miz, then a nice long reign from Rey Mysterio. Then he dropped it to Booker, but Booker immediately dropped it to John Morrison, and now Morrison's had a pretty decent reign so far. I'd say the Intercontinental title is probably the most prestigious and successfully defended, like, longest reigning championship. Its average length of reign is over 100 at the moment, barring Booker's 2-day reign. Obviously, Booker lost it in 2 days because I had the plan for the Misfits to surprise take over every belt. Oh, sweetness! Oh my god, I think we're about to see new tag team champions! Oh my goodness! The Misfits are not on top anymore. And exactly what I said at the start of this match ended up becoming a reality. Justin Gabriel is having the best time of his life right now. Tag team champions, light heavyweight champion, clearly something blooming with Brie Bella. a psychological victory over The Rock. Yeah, Justin Gabriel's the man right now. Wow. Well, there you go. New tag team champions to close out SmackDown just 2 days prior to Survivor Series. This is going to put The Miz in a really off mindset, if I had to guess. But a tough loss for the Misfits. Too bad. So sad. As we move on to Survivor Series. Will it be the undoing of another faction? Will the United Kingdom take their loss? We'll find out this Sunday at Survivor Series. Let me know down below in the comments your predictions. I love doing this. I love hearing your predictions. Coming up at Survivor Series, I will quickly pull up the match card for you because I love this theme song, so I can sit and listen to it whilst talking over it the entire time. Coming up this Sunday at Survivor Series, we have from ECW, the ECW Championship matchup is going to be Kane and the Big Show 1-on-1. Also from ECW, a Survivor Series style 6-man elimination tag team match as the Powerhouse, Ezekiel Jackson, Mason Ryan and Vladimir Kozlov face off against Chavo Guerrero, Sin Cara and Hussey Harris. Also from Raw, we are going to be seeing Edge versus Jack Swagger in a loser leaves Raw anything goes match. That rivalry finally coming to an end as they face off in a match that will see one of them banned from the Raw brand, well, not banned, but kicked from the Raw brand for the time being, and they may have to find their place somewhere else or just go away, who knows. Also from Raw, we got that big 6-man winner-takes-all Survivor Series elimination tag. It's for the World Heavyweight Championship, the European Championship, and the World Tag Team Championship. As Sheamus defends his title, McIntyre defends his title, and either Wade Barrett and William Regal defend the tag titles, they're going to be up against the number 1 contender for the World Championship, Vader, the number 1 contender for the European Championship, Kevin Nash, and the number 1 contender for the tag team titles, CM Punk, who will then get to choose whoever he wants as his tag team championship partner should they win. Which, of course, if you want to leave a prediction for who you think is going to be his tag team partner should they win, I'd like to hear that too. And then from here on SmackDown, we've got the Survivor Series matchup that will see the Crew, Mark Henry, R-Truth, and Booker T up against John Cena, Rey Mysterio, and Eddie Guerrero. We've got a cross-brand match for the Women's Championship and Divas Championship. Last woman standing, it's Karma up against Beth Phoenix. And in the main event from SmackDown, The Miz set to face off against the returning Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWE Championship. Let me know your predictions down below. Thanks for watching this episode of SmackDown, and I'll see you guys in just 2 days' time at Survivor Series.